Alright, so here's my follow-up to the heavy-duty bench grinder stand that Harbor Freight sells. I put it all together, I tightened it up. In the previous video I said I was going to find another piece of 3-inch tubing and maybe plate to put on top of this. But the disc sander, it just fits on there. It'd probably be fine to leave that way without putting an additional piece of plate on it. But my biggest problem is down here at the base. It's just so loose, and I spent a long time with a level on there trying to get this level and plumb, and even with these, is like they're so tight. Like this whole thing, it still just moves. Like and I'm starting to I don't know if it translates into pictures or not in the video, but from running the bolts in so far, I'm starting to dent the tubing. Because like I said, it was only 16 thick, which isn't really heavy. I don't know, it's maybe 20 gauge, 18 gauge or something tubing. And so needless to say, I think this one's going back. I don't think it's going to work for what I need it for. Maybe if you were just, homeowner Joe and you wanted somewhere to stick your bench grinder on and use it once or twice a year, it would be fine. But I use my tools, almost daily, so I can't be having that thing all loosey goosey. And like I said, welding it would probably fix the problem, but I came up with a better solution for my needs, which I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, this one's going back for 50 bucks or 40 bucks, whatever it was on sale. It's going back. Okay, so here's what I came up with. I found this vintage, little industrial looking table, which is pretty solid. Not a whole lot to it. And that's just going to hold my thing. It's a funny story. I went over to the metal supply house to, to get a heavier piece of tube or a pipe to put in there in place of that one and a piece of plate for the top. And this just happened to be sitting right in the front for 30 bucks. So I said, you know what? I probably would have spent another $10 or $15 in steel to fix that Harbor Freight thing. So, on top of the $40 or $50 you've already spent on it, what's the point? And I could just find something like this. I could probably even just fabricated something out of angle iron and 16 or 18 gauge steel. That would work better than the Harbor Freight one. So, yeah, I'm not going to recommend that one. This will actually work pretty good. I got a desk lamp I salvaged from the garbage. I'm going to take apart and mount permanently there, so I'll have a nice light shining right onto my table while I'm working. So, yeah, where are we at? Harbor Freight heavy pedestal bench grinder, item number 68321. I'm going to say as a leave it at the store one, at least at the price that they're offering it for. It's probably actually the cheaper bench grinder stand that they sell, which is made out of stamped steel, or it actually looks like pieces of angle iron, more like a base that you would use for a chop saw or a table saw. It's probably actually more sturdier than this one. Lightweight wise, more lightweight than this one, but probably sturdier. Like I said, unless you're gonna go the extra distance and definitely weld the base to the upright. And like I said, even if you could find a piece of 3-inch stock, out OD stock to fit in between there, a little bit more tighter, I think would be better. So even that's a pretty big gap for a weld joint, especially for how light this tube is. But yeah, so this one I would pass on this one. Like I said, unless you're just looking for something to hold your tool up that you're going to use once or twice a year.